Hello everybody, we are the Geeks and the Genets. I am Manzo, this is my forever co-host Jum. Today we continue our series on Masters of the Air. All caught up, and yeah, which is perfect because I am ending my run on Band of Brothers and I would like more World War II series.
How many episodes was it? Like 8, right? 9?
10.
10 episodes. Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should start. I should rewatch that shit.
Yeah. But yeah, I used to call it last week where you said this episode is intense, and it is pretty intense. It is very, like, gripping your seat of like, please God, why?
Yeah. Fuck, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. We lost a cool character in the fucking third episode.
Yeah. I was surprised he would go so soon. We're talking about, of course, Barry Keoghan's character. When you're like, he's not gonna die this soon, right? It's only episode 3. And the boy couldn't just land the plane right. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, but they build it up so well too, because like in the past few episodes, he's always the guy who gets it done. He's always the guy who's like, I could land. Like on the last episode, he saved everybody in that plane by landing it on like Scotland.
Yeah.
And we're like, of course, we're like, oh, he's gonna make it because we all know he could do the impossible with a plane.
Yeah.
And well, to be honest, there's no body. I don't believe it. But anyway, who knows?
I mean, this show hasn't shown itself to be unrealistic, so this entire saga of Band of Brothers in the Pacific and Masters of the Air, even though the rule is if you don't see the body, doesn't mean they're dead, but like, it is like, you're like, well, this series has been so realistic so far. I don't know why.
Dude, just let me hope. Just let me hope.
That is
because I really like Barry Keoghan's character. I was like, this guy's such a badass. And then he's like trying to take care of the guy who's just been shot beside him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can land this. And then he's like, he just kind of knew. I was like, damn. And the thing just blows up like it crashes.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's not bad. And then it blows up. I was like, well, he's not.
It blows up twice. You're like, maybe. Fuck. And yeah, the mission is pretty intense as itself. Like they have to go deep into Germany or like Europe lines filled with skies filled with like.
It's like near Belgium by France.
Yeah, skies filled with the German Air Force, and like you hear that every base is on high alert, and you're like, well, we've been spotted. We can't. Again, it's not like, well, we can turn back, right? And then they're like, no, we are 4 hours in. We cannot turn back. And then in your mind, you're like, right, they're not jets. They are World War II aircrafts trying to make their way to this target. And usually they have a squad, but like command was like, no, send first squadron first by themselves. And you're like, that's fucked. We're fucked.
And and like their entire plan is like, drop the bombs and refuel at Africa.
Yeah.
Only a few went to Africa.
Yeah. I like, again, these men have nerves of steel. Like for 4 hours, they're just flying to the Luftwaffe and flak. They're just like, it's that dog meme of like, this is fine.
This is fine. Guys, everybody, dude. The back of the plane blew up. Like they got hit by a rocket.
Yeah.
And the guy at the back's like, what was the name of the Elvis Presley guy?
Austin
Bucky.
Butler. Yeah.
Austin Butler's like, is anybody okay at the back? And you just hear one dude go like, yep, we're all good. And like it cuts to him, he's all bleeding. His gun's like broken. He uses like a bullet to charge the gun.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And you just see him like taking care of the Luftwaffe, just like,
Like, Buck's co-pilot is like, or the main pilot is like, we have to ditch, and Buck's like, you son of a gun, we're not leaving. We're gonna sit here and take it.
He's just like, with all that sexy voiceness. He's just like, we ain't leaving. We're too far in. Because he has experienced already that being neck deep into a dogfight like that and not get something out of it.
Yeah.
Like that was the first episode. They didn't drop the bombs,
Right.
and now he's just like, no, I ain't doing that shit again.
Yeah, we are too in too deep, and like there were like red flags or like death flags with Buck, because he like sees the skies just filled with like his comrades exploding in the air, and like
Yeah.
a shit ton of Luftwaffe. You're like, he's like,
Dude,
well,
you see that one dude who just like started like tumbling towards the airplane and gets cut in half by their wing.
yeah. I was like,
I was
oh
like,
fuck,
oh, you unlucky bastard! I'm sorry.
right? It's like I don't know if you had to shoot or not, but you're not gonna make it either way now.
Dude, such memorable deaths. Like one for sure was so hard to watch. I swear, I had to take a breather. I had to stop the episode just to be like, "Woo!"
Was it the kid?
That was a little too real.
The
Yeah,
kid who got trapped?
Babyface.
Yeah,
Yeah, so there's as we all know, the worst seat in the plane is being the gunner at the bottom of the plane.
yeah,
And I didn't know that thing can detach.
right.
It detaches so easily. I was like, why would anyone want to be underneath that? But anyway, like he's stuck at the bottom of the plane, and the door hinge just gets jammed, and the plane's getting shredded to pieces.
Yeah.
And like they all tell him like, all right, we all gotta bail. We all gotta jump. And like the friend that he had at the beginning of the episode, it was the redhead guy.
Yeah,
And he's just like asking for like help, and he's just struggling while the plane's starting to crash. He's just struggling, trying to pry this thing, and you hear like Babyface just crying for help. Nightmare fuel, absolute nightmare fuel.
right. And then he's like, I am so sorry, and then ditches. You're like, fuck, and then the thing
And
explodes.
yeah, it's even worse is that you hear the scream once we pan out,
Yeah.
and we see the what happens to the plane. You hear him scream, and then immediately stops.
Yeah,
I was like, well, I'm gonna see that in my dreams, and I don't ever want to plane. I don't ever want to be in a plane.
right. I do like the fact that they show the process of ditching a plane like that, like 10,000 feet in the air, and you're like, well, the ground is coming up really, really fast. What are you supposed to do? And they're like, you guys go first. And
Open Bombay doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure in like training, there's a process, and of course, training it's more controlled. But like when you're in the moment, you're like, how do you stay calm? How do you do this?
You don't. You fucking and like for sure in the training they can't like around that time. You couldn't simulate being tossed around in the cabin, like. Yeah, as we saw that one guy trying to get the Babyface, he's like having a hard time
Yeah.
just getting 5 feet ahead of him.
And that's why he was like, I am so sorry. Just like, bye. Sorry, babyface.
I'm sorry as well. Like, if I can't, ground's coming in fast, I'm like, man, I'm sorry.
What do you want me to do?
He doesn't even have to shoot yet, by the way. Like, even if they did pry that thing in time,
Yeah.
he can't jump out right away. He gotta put on the thing and strap himself up.
Yeah. Which they don't have time for. And you're like, well, you are fucked. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And like, the guy gets captured by the French, by the resistance. And like, they tell him,
Yeah.
like, well, if you're captured, you're treated well at first. But like, if you try to run, they will try you as a spy and have you shot. Which would you rather? Be with us or with the Nazis? And he's like, I don't have a choice, do I? And they're like, nope. He's like, okay.
No.
But the mission is
Yeah, like-
successful. But like, there's still tension of like, because Buck's plane is like torn to shit. And, like other planes are like, well, they're not faring better, and we're still above enemy territory. So we have to make it to Africa. Some ditch in the sea. Buck barely makes it because he doesn't hit the runway, but like they make it out okay. And they're like, Buck is a very skilled pilot at that point.
Yeah. And like, by the way, again with what Enzo said like last week, you tend to forget what those bombs can do. Like in video games, they kind of underestimate, like they under deliver on what
Yeah.
a bomb can do. When you like look down and you see this like little pea thing just hit the ground, and it just takes out like maybe like a couple of kilometers
Yeah,
of land, and well, that factory's gone.
yeah. I also love the fact that they're showing that the German Air Force at this point is experimenting with weapon technology, like because you see the rockets, and like they're late into the war, Germany was developing like rocket technology that the Allies later like steal from at the end. But like the V2 and like you saw like the earliest version of missiles, but they had to do line of sight. That's why they're so close to the bombers, and you're like, that's fascinating and terrifying. Like the one guy who in Buck's plane who has no more legs when he gets hit by the rocket, you're like, oh, Jesus Christ Almighty.
Yeah. Like when we say they were cut up into Swiss cheese, we weren't kidding. Like like the plane and the people, they're all just blown to shreds. And like there's one moment where Austin Butler's character, like a bullet whizzes by and like hits something, and then there's like this red liquid that comes off, and you're like, "Are you hit?" He's like, "No, are you?" They're like, "Oh no, it's engine oil." It was like, "Don't scare me!"
Right? I remember Barrett Keegan's pilot. He gets hit, and then he just slumps over the controls, and he's like, "Whoa, shit, we're nose diving," and you're like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and like, and the guy's still alive.
Yeah,
he's just like doesn't have a face anymore.
Yeah, he's barely clinging on. And you're like, even if you land properly, by a miracle, I don't think the guy's gonna make it. I think he's gonna die of blood loss. But yeah, we lost a good character this episode, and I was like, fuck. I knew it was too squeaky clean at the beginning.
Nah. I don't see nobody. He ain't dead yet. He ain't dead yet.
But yeah,
I haven't read the book.
I mean, me neither. But yeah, as always, there's always like a preview of the next one, and I'm like, fuck, it looks more intense. Now they have like the resistance story aspect now, so I don't know how that's gonna pan out.
I don't know if you've seen like the cover for Masters of the Air.
Yeah.
But there's like a couple of characters there. I'm like, I don't know you, and I don't know you. I haven't seen you yet.
Right?
I've seen you, but only once. So what the fuck does this mean?
Right.
Right, like, but hey, as long as what's his name, the map guy, is still alive.
Crosby,
yeah. Cross is like, okay, I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah, it does look more suspenseful too, the next episode, because the guy rolls up in the station and he looks at the side, he's like, ah, shit, it's a bunch of SS officers. I am fucked. We are both fucked.
Oh shit. Well fucked.
Right. But yeah, again, we don't rate episodes, we just talk about our thoughts and what we like, the highlights, and anything else to add before we move on?
No. Yeah, since we don't do ratings, well, like, all I gotta say is this is a good episode. So far, Masters of the Air is just, well, no pun intended, going up.
Right. But yeah, that's been our thoughts on Masters of the Air Episode 3. What do you guys think? Are you heartbroken at the possibility of Barry Keoghan never coming back in the show? Maybe as a flashback. Who knows?
No, he's coming back, actually. I know it. He's gonna be like, he's gonna have like a couple of hair missing because he just came from a fire, and he's gonna run into the guy who got captured by the French resistance.
It's like, you made it.
Trust me, he's fine. He just looks like the Joker now.
Alright.
Shark Bay looking ass.
I mean, he is the Joker and the Batman, so there's that.
Exactly. It's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, if you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and ring the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok. TikTok to see your best and funniest moments. Spotify to hear us on the go. And the video Zoda's voices on TikTok. Where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me at JohnJM_ on Instagram. It is my account.
And until the next time, we shall see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.